Rhythm. Rhythm in dance is how our bodies move through time. Rhythm in music is how the notes move through time. And rhythm in visual arts is how the lines and the shapes move through time. So as dancers, we use our bodies to talk and not our voices. And you guys are gonna get a chance to do that with us. Are going to get a chance to move with us. So without using your voice, go ahead and stand up out of your desks. Take your arms to the ceiling, and we're going to shake our bodies as fast as we can for 10 counts. Ready, set, and go. Take your arms, your legs, your head. Go, faster, and freeze. Awesome, good job warming up. Go ahead and stand as tall as you can. Bring your arms right to your hips. And you probably saw us doing one movement over and over again. And a lot of our movement in West African dance has very specific meaning. This one in particular was giving our energy, so turn your palms up, and then taking our energy back. So that again, we're gonna give our energy and take our energy. And a little faster, give and take. Give, take. Kind of like a game. And take. And when you hear that drum going faster, good job. You go faster. You can get a little fancier. Put a little foot in there. And now you're dancing. When you hear that drummer give us a call, which means a change in rhythm, you guys get to bust out your most favorite dance moves. It can be any move that you want. So think when you're dancing alone in your bedroom or out with your friends, your most favorite moves. All right, are you ready? A hand. Great work. And like any performer would do, you have to finish with a bow. So take your arms up and giant bow forward. And great work today. Thank you so very much for dancing. And have a seat right where you're at. And we're gonna do some more dancing with you.
So now we're going to learn a song. Everybody repeat after me. Oh yeah yay, oh yeah yay.
Oh yeah yay, oh yeah yay.
Very good, you know the words. So to get the melody, we are going to sing it once, and then when I point to you, it's your turn to sing. Here we go.
Hey, kids, would you like to find out about some of these cool instruments I've got up here? All right, so the drum I just got finished playing is called Djembe, spelled usually D-J-E-M-B-E. The drum originally, we think, comes from the country of Guinea, which is in West Africa. And this particular drum I know came from Guinea. I just purchased it recently. The wood in the drum is called Khadi, K-H-A-D-I. Notice all the beautiful carvings. Usually the carvings are symbolic. They usually stand for something positive. And this particular drum has one head, which is goat skin, and it's very, very tight. And thinking about where you live determines the things that you are able to make. So geographically, there's still lots of trees in West Africa, so the wood is fairly plentiful. And because you're close to the ocean, you've got nylon rope, which would be used for fishing and shipping on boats. So let you see also that the drum is hollow. It's a heavy drum too. And to me, the djembe is a very special drum because it has such a wide range of pitches. And what I mean by that is, if I get the bass note on the drum, can you sing that low? Give it a try. Come on, let me hear you. That was pretty good, not bad. So it has a very low pitch, but it also has a very high pitch. And there you go, that's the djembe. This drum that I played on the first dance that we did with you, Gota, is called Kapanglongo. Kapanglongo. What a great word. K-P-A-N-L-O-N-G-O. Can you think of any words in the English language that start with K? P? Kapowie? Kabam? I don't know. I can't think of any words that start with KP. Kind of like an ancestor of the conga drum that we play from Latin America. And again, notice all the beautiful carvings, wonderful meanings along with that. Be a good citizen. Support your government. Help your neighbors. Things like that. I think the drum is pretty unique because of the stakes that hold the head on. It looks very unusual. You want to avoid hitting your hand on the stakes when you play this drum. It can be a little painful. The head on this drum is antelope. Kind of has a yellowish tint to it. And again, the nylon rope. The wood on this drum is called Winnebois. T-W-E-N-B-O-A. Winnebois. And again, it's hollow, like the djembe. And it's tuned quite a bit lower than the djembe. Oh yeah, I was going to show you also the gongo kui. G-A-N-K-O-G-U-I, gongo kui. It's a double bell. The mother bell is the low pitch. So this is the mother bell and the baby bell. So the drums very often in West Africa are thought of like family members. So the man's voice would be the lowest pitched drum. The baby riding on the mother's back as she does her everyday work. And then the mother. So the mother and the baby, the gongo kui. So on this dance, I'm playing the gongo kui along with the ponglongo. And perhaps you noticed when we were teaching you the dance steps for Gotha that there was a signal that I did. 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, start. So it's kind of like a field commander in the marching band giving a whistle blow to start the band. So the signal, again, it's very quick, so you really have to pay attention when you're playing drums and dancing in this West African music. So I can be playing the best drum solo you ever heard, doing my one-handed roll. As soon as I play those 6 notes, everybody starts. So that's a start signal. And then I settle into a groove. And maybe you heard me sing. And then I give another signal. And that triggers a chance for the dancers to do something special. Sometimes they choreograph their moves. Sometimes it's kind of a freestyle section. But I kind of improvise a little bit while I'm playing. That signal is a lot easier to hear. Again, it's just... Guess what the stop signal is? It's the start signal. So it's a start signal and a stop signal. So when you dance on this Gotha or you drum on it, we listen for those signals. It becomes part of your game face while you're playing. And so the drum that Jess was displaying is called June June. June June. June, June. And I'm doing this because this is like the heartbeat of the drumming groups in West Africa. It's like the low pitch, like the sound of a heart. Dum, 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 dum. And it's like a bass drum, kind of like what the students play in marching band in the high school or at Marshall University. Think about it, they carry these big drums that are turned sideways, that have a very low pitch. So this is like a bass drum from West Africa. It's a solid shell drum. This drum has 2 heads. Still some hair left on this one. I think it needs a shave. I'm thinking these are probably calfskin heads. That's what I believe. Again, nylon rope holding the heads together, keeping them tight from the shipping industry and fishing. And it's fun to play June June because you get to play a cowbell too. That's very cool. One of my favorite parts on the June June comes from a dance called Bantaba, which is a very long dance. We did a little bit of it with you a moment ago when we sang, oh yeah, 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 that tune. So one of my favorite parts comes later on when the tempo gets really fast and it goes something like this. There you go. That'll wake you up in the morning, won't it? It's better than a cup of coffee. Play drums, kids. avoid coffee, play drums. So that's the June. This is called the Gyil, G-Y-I-L. And this xylophone comes from Ghana, West Africa. I got to travel there, 22 years ago and study music and bring a lot of these instruments back with me. The Gyil is it's made out of Winnebois wood that we spoke about a moment ago. And you'll notice nylon rope holding the bars together. Again, using the resources that nature provides. The frame is entirely made of wood, and I believe there's some sinew tying it together, and a little bit of rope. There are no nails, screws, or glue used in the construction of this instrument. It's very ingenious and very solid instrument. Do you know what those orange things are at the bottom of the instrument that are kind of hanging there loosely? Any idea what those are called? You could grow these in your garden. I grew these in my garden a few years ago. You can make bird houses out of them, containers. They're gourds. Perhaps you say gourds. I think I heard somebody say that. So they've been hollowed out and matched to the notes. Notice the little teeny tiny gourds are matched up with the small notes, the higher pitches. The larger gourds are matched up with the big notes, the low pitches. So they're tuned to the notes. Why are they there? They're like a natural amplifier. And it's great because you don't have to plug it into the wall. It just makes the sound a little bit louder. But there's another element here that might surprise you. Notice those white patches that are on the gourds. They took the time to drill holes into the gourds, and then they put something very odd and unique over that hole. You would never guess in a bazillion years what that is. I'm going to tell you. These are spiders' nests. I'm not kidding. There's no spiders in there. I've looked, so we're safe. But they're spiders' nests. Why would you put a spider's nest on a musical instrument, pray tell? Well, have you ever had a kazoo? I think we've all been to Camden Park or Kings Island, an amusement park, and we've played games and we've won prizes. And occasionally you get a prize that has, you hum into it. And it kind of goes, and there's a piece of paper or plastic in there that buzzes, that vibrates with your voice. That's what that spider's nest does. Extra character, just a little bit of sizzle. They think that that makes the sound a little bit more interesting. So that's the Gyli. Oh, also the Gyli is tuned to a pentatonic scale. So there are only 5 notes in each octave. Most of the time we have 7 notes in a major scale or a minor scale. So the pentatonic scale sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I start again and repeat 1. Then in the 3rd octave, I'm missing 1 note. So it's almost 3 octaves worth of pentatonic notes. So that's the Gyli.
The dance you're about to see is based on Oskar Schlemmer's most famous work, the Triadic Ballet. From its earliest days of existence, the Bauhaus pursued looking forward rather than looking back. They encouraged experimentation in art to create new works of art. The dance is an experiment between performer and space. The dancers use their bodies to create various shapes throughout the dance. See how many shapes you can identify.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm the costume designer for 4th Avenue Arts, and I designed the costumes for our Bauhaus performance that you will see in this video. It was a very exciting experience to have when Miss Jessica came to me and told me about the Bauhaus exhibit, and we visited the museum and saw the work of Oskar Schlemmer. she decided that she was going to do a dance inspired by the original Bauhaus ballets and asked me to create some costumes that would also be inspired by those original costumes, some examples of which you can see behind me. So the costumes that I created were very exciting. We used materials that were thinking outside the box and very unique to create something that was very different from what you're used to seeing in a normal ballet situation. Some of the most exciting materials that I used are things you can find right around the house or maybe even at school. I used materials such as hula hoops, duct tape, even a slinky. Watch for that in some of the costumes. It also was fun to do such colorful works and to focus on shapes like squares, circles, triangles, and incorporate those into the costumes that the dancers are wearing while still allowing them to have some movement. If you'll notice when you watch their performance, you'll see that those costumes sometimes inhibit their movement and they have to incorporate the costume as if it's its own performance.
we've made it to the third and last section of our show. Any guesses on what we have on our feet? If you guessed tap shoes, you're correct. American tap dance came to us from two very specific cultures. Any guesses on what cultures might have contributed to help form American tap dance? I'll give you a hint. The first culture is where we started the show. That's right. If you guessed Africa, then you're correct. Our African ancestors helped influence American tap dance. What might be another culture? I'll give you another hint. It's green, at the end of a rainbow, maybe a four-leaf clover. Ireland! That's right. Our Irish ancestors also helped influence American tap dance. And the amazing thing is, our African and our Irish ancestors came together right here in Appalachia to help form American tap dance. Our ancestors didn't have the kind of shoes that we have today. If you look at the bottom of our shoes, we can make sounds with them, kind of like instruments for our feet. But our ancestors had to get really creative with the way that they made music. Kind of like wood blocks on the bottom of your shoes, metal parts, different things from your house. Did you know that you can make music with wash tubs? Or even spoons or pots and pans? You guys should totally do that tonight at dinner. Your parents would love it. So that's what we're gonna do today, right now for you. We're gonna do a little bit of Appalachian rhythm battles between us and Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve, are you ready?
Spoon Man Steve was born ready.
one more rhythm with you. Go ahead and stand on up out of your seats. You might know this song, so go ahead and let's warm up our hands and wait for that rhythm. That we all have a rhythm that we carry around with us everywhere we go. Does anyone have any idea what it might be? If you guessed a heartbeat, then you are correct. So it's really awesome to know that your heartbeat is your own rhythm, and everyone around you has their own rhythm too. So make sure you honor your heartbeat and the rhythm of the other people in your life. So go ahead and put your hand right on your heart. Find your beat. Go ahead and close your eyes for a second. And just listen to your own rhythm. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it out. And remember, no matter where you go, find your own rhythm, honor the rhythm of others, and keep finding that beat. Thank you for dancing with us today. Thank you for creating, and have a wonderful creative rest of your afternoon. Thank you guys. Bye.